Shalom, shalom. Shalom, YouTube, Daughters of Zion. This is Sister T, and welcome to the Rock. This video is going to be a little different as to what I normally make videos on. And I'm usually talking about submission or, things that, us women could do to reverence our husbands. And I do these videos to encourage sisters to, encourage them and let them know it's okay to submit, to let them see things in a different way based on my experiences, based on what I've been through. I'm no teacher. I'm no preacher. I'm just a daughter of Zion trying to walk this thing out. I've come from the same world you come from, but I do try to encourage other women to submit to their husbands because I truly believe that we should submit to our husbands. But also, if I'm going to encourage women to submit to their husbands, if I'm going to tell you how the Bible tells us to behave, then that means that I should also be able to tell you when I fail. At least that's what I'm going to do. And so I've made a video about 4 days ago about submitting to our husbands, but I was actually speaking on why I call my husband master, and how our husbands are better than what we give them. And then I've also spoke, a little bit toward the end of the video. I spoke and I said that that when I do fail, that I do everything I can to fix it. So I'm gonna do what I can, everything I can, honestly, to fix when I fail. And I'm letting you know I did fall. It's really interesting because Passover's coming, and there's a lot of testing, proving, and trying going on, and I want to kill this flesh. And sometimes it's not as easy to put yourself out there for the world to see that you've fallen flat on your face. But I'm not really that concerned about it. If I can tell you or any other women to submit, I can also tell you when I fail. If I can tell you you should be so whatever, I should be able to walk that out. And when I fall, I should be able to share those experiences because those experiences still help other people as well. And so that's the part that I'm going to be more concerned with. So in the video that I did, if you haven't watched it, you can check it out. But I was explaining why I call my husband master instead of sir. I was letting everyone know, no, I do not feel disrespected, because people had believed that I felt disrespected or less or something, and I explained how I do not. And I would tell you, just because I did fail, I still believe the scriptures. I believe what the scriptures say. Now, but I do have to keep taking looks and deeper looks at myself and say, why am I still falling? But I just wanted to give you an example of how, what men have to put up with. My husband and maybe your husband have to put up when we do know better and when we give place to the devil and to our flesh and what they have to put up with. Us women are like children. We can do something so good, we can, behave, but sometimes we are no better than our own children, especially a lot of us who have not been trained and we come this way. Sometimes we are no better than children. And I'm not saying that to be offensive. That's how I feel about myself. Because, I've been getting on my own children about things that they've been doing. And the exact same things that I've repeated out of my mouth to my children, that, that they need, what they need to do, and how they will do it for a time, and then how they know better, but because they get distracted with this over here, or because of their feelings or whatever, that then then their flesh start rising. And the same thing happened to me, and more recently, actually, in fact, it wasn't too much longer after that video. Was it, what, a day later after that video? I was tried by every word that I said in that video. And I'll let you know, I didn't fare too well. My flesh did rise. Um, and, you know, and now I feel terrible, because that just shows how still, after all that my husband, have done for me, as his wife, and me knowing what he's overcome, and knowing how he's really, really, really striving. He is not even the same man he was 2 years ago. Because he's really striving, and I shouldn't be in the way of that. I should be striving just as hard. I understand, or at least I'm more aware of spiritual warfare than probably most people. So the fact that I even have given place to the devil, I should know better. And once again, we're supposed to be respecting our husbands. We're supposed to be honoring our husbands. We're supposed to be reverencing our husbands. And there I was, me, and I'm out there, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm telling my children, I'm, answering questions for people on YouTube of how, they should conduct themselves. But then why am I here? Why am I not conducting myself that way? All the time. It does no good, like I said before, to call your husband master if you ain't gonna live it. And I can't say, oh, I behave that way every day, because I don't. But it's just a simple fact that this is how we are. And if you do not stay on top of things, if you do not pay attention, if you allow yourself to get comfortable, because that's what I think, and I really truly believe sometimes that that is, you get comfortable. uh, the enemy is still right there. He's still your enemy. And just because you are relaxing does not mean the enemy is relaxing. And that enemy is in you. And if you don't do something about the enemy will do something about you. And it's I'm thankful on one end, because I have been praying to y'all, because Passover coming, I want to be clean, and every year I want to be better, and I want to do better, and I don't want to be deceived. And so um, he was able to show me that. He was able to show me where I still have work to do. Don't get lax. Don't think you're good, because you're not. So I'm grateful on one end, but I'm saddened, and I feel really I'm hurt in reality, because now my husband have to deal with something he shouldn't have to deal with. Um, and, I don't want to come off to anyone else telling them how to live nothing. Um, if I can't, if I myself, is still struggling at it, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So, but the one thing I can do, if I can share to you how to, you should obey and you should this, I should be able to share my failures as well. So that's what I'm here to do also. I can't say my husband, oh, you're deserving of this behavior, you know, or that's our job. I wanted to make a mention of someone's video that will be also a good help in this same area. Sister Kim from This Whole Homestead did a video on wives submitting to their husbands. And I think you all should watch it, because she's speaking from a different perspective. I have a perspective of what I go through, of who I am as a human being. She's coming from another perspective, because not everybody has the same experiences. Not everybody have the same type of husbands. And, culturally, honestly, women deal with, in some ways, in some areas, different issues of from their own backgrounds. They deal with different issues than other women. And one thing she said that stood out to me, because although I do believe the scriptures and wife submitting to her husband, and a fall is not going to stop me from getting back up and striving again. But and I'm going to continue to strive until this flesh, until I continuously fight this flesh, and I'm going to kill this flesh, period. But I loved her video because I listened to it, and it still was able to speak to me. It was able to speak to me because, like she says, we act like things are supposed to be easy when we get married and when we come to Yahshua. And she was answering the question where wives were saying, well, what if their husband's this and what if their husband's that? And one of the things she said, you picked them, number one. But number two, another key thing that she said was, when Yahshua came, Yeshua was perfect pretty much. I mean, no, not pretty much. Yeshua was perfect. But Yeshua had to go through all sorts of things, and he had to endure everything, including your feelings and your emotions. Your feelings and your emotions does not give you a right to step out of bounds. And my feelings and my emotions at the time, for the split moment it was, I felt some way that my feelings and emotions should have been considered. But there's nowhere in scripture that says your feelings and emotions need to be considered, especially when your feelings and emotions are wicked. And you may not think your feelings or emotions are wicked. Just for that split moment, I thought my feelings and emotions were wicked. And it was just after the fact of knowing, like, how did I not know that? How did I not see this coming? How do I not know that as you strive for the truth, that the enemy is gonna come after you? What am I doing relaxing for? And so I thank Yah still, as I plead with him, and as I plead with him, I'm thankful that he did give me a husband who, even after, having this situation happen, and although um, he we're not, no man wants to be disrespected in any sort of way. He don't care about your feelings and your emotions, because you know what, they have feelings and emotions too, and they suffer too, and they're human too. So I thank Yah that my husband still, when I do fall, he can say, screw you, I don't need to work and do anything for you, I don't need to take care of you. And in fact, he can also say, I don't need to be with you. Um, and I'm just grateful and appreciative that that has not been my case. Um, I'm sure many times that my husband may have wanted that to be the case, because us women, me, I'm not going to say us women, because that's for every woman to look within themselves and see, and check their selves. I'm checking me. So me as a woman, um, I can be, um, I have been tough to handle before. And now, I'm gonna be honest, like my husband said, at this point, it's more of like a kind of, more of a disappointment. It's like, I see you striving, but at the same time, it's more like disappointing, because it's like, okay, you see she's getting it, and you see this things you're overcoming. It's like certain things, it's like, I kind of he don't expect to happen anymore. You just expect to be done with it. So it's still a disappointment. I'm not saying that he doesn't understand people have flesh and all those things, but it doesn't change the fact that when your flesh rises, it affects everybody. So um, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Bless you, sisters. I put myself out there. I hope you can take from it. When our flesh rises, it still affects everybody. We give place to the enemy, you know, just like I'm gonna be thinking about more, because I can't have that happening. I I love this truth, um, you know, um, and I'm gonna keep striving for it. But I can't let things like this, happen. And I hope you all, your sisters, can draw encouragement from it, even though it may not be a video the way you're used to or the way you expect. And I'm putting myself out there. I can be talked about. I can be whatever, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not okay to ever be in this position, but it is okay that some may speak. That's okay. But as long as y'all give me breath in my body, I'm still gonna walk it. I'm still gonna strive. And when I fall, I'm gonna try everything I can to fix it. And that's what I'm doing. And I pray that you all sisters, learn from this. The enemy is always right there, just waiting for you to slip up, just waiting for you to get relaxed. And you don't want to do that. You want to be better than that. You want to keep your eyes open. You always want to be prepared, because the moment you're asleep, he don't sleep. He's always working. And so I know that married sisters may more so maybe understand this a lot more, because you've been there, you've done it before, or some of you that are gonna get married, just be aware of those sort of things. May in some way you all draw something that you can use in your marriages to be better. I thank you all. Bless you. Shalom.